We'll start with the prayers. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sah Viryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. In this series of talks, I have been giving you a bird's eye view of all the Upanishads, which are major Upanishads, and a couple of minor Upanishads. Before taking up the last Upanishad, Mandukya Upanishad, today I thought I should introduce you to another minor Upanishad called Muktikopanishad. When we do that Upanishad, you will understand the meaning of Muktikopanishad, and also we'll understand why we are taking up this Upanishad. So completed Upanishads means whatever I have finished so far. Kaivalya Upanishad, Mandukya Upanishad, Kena Upanishad, Taittiriya Upanishad, and Katha Upanishad. So these 5 Upanishads, I have already taken the entire word by word, verse by verse meanings and so on. And then I started taking the other Upanishads, which we will be covering from now on. I'll be taking the Prashna Upanishad first. After the introduction of all these Upanishads is over, maybe I will take one more session in this series of Upanishads, and then we will start the Prashna Upanishad. Now, what is this Muktiko Upanishad? Muktiko Upanishad has got a significance for Mandukya Upanishad. I will give you just a summary, a synopsis of this Upanishad first, before we enter into Mandukya Upanishad. Muktiko Upanishad consists of 2 chapters. One chapter, the first chapter has got 2 sections, and the second chapter has only 1 section, and the total number of mantras is 131. It is a minor Upanishad where Shankaracharya's commentary is not available. Upanishad comes from Shukla Yajurveda. The first chapter is a smaller chapter compared to the second chapter. Second chapter has 76 verses. The first chapter has got 49 verses. The Shanti mantra for this Muktiko Upanishad is Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate, which is what we chant at the end of our Upanishad classes. The entire word has come from this Brahman. We call it Brahman. It is a reality. Here, the teacher is Sri Rama, and the disciple is Hanuman, Sri Hanuman. Now, Hanuman's question was very background. Like we have Katha Upanishad, we have a story behind it. We have Mandukya Upanishad, there is a story behind it. Similarly, here, there is a story. Hanuman's question was, how do I get released from bondage to samsara? This samsara means mundane existence. Birth, existence, and then death, again birth, existence, and death. This is what is called as a samsaric cycle. How do I get out of this bondage? Bondage means I am attached to this body, mind, and the world. Again and again, I want to take birth after birth after birth. To that question of Hanuman, Sri Rama said, you have to learn Veda Anta portion. What is the essence behind the entire Veda is given in the end portion of Veda. Like we have oil in the seeds. When you look at the seed, you will not see the oil. But when you crush the seeds, you will get the oil. Similarly, when you take Veda, the Veda Purva Bhaga and Veda Anta Bhaga, they are two separate shastras. Veda Purva Bhaga is for Loka Prapti. I want to attain different lokas, go to different enjoyments, subtler and subtler enjoyments. The Veda Anta portion is for salvation, for coming out of this cycle of samsara. Samsara, in short, means birth, death. Repeated birth and death is samsara. So Veda has a science, which is Veda Anta portion, that a candidate is saying, I want to come out of this samsara cycle. Veda Purva is for another candidate who wants to enjoy the world. Better quality of body, better lokas, better experiences. That is one type of candidate. And the second candidate is Vedanta portion. This Shankaracharya beautifully analyzes in Aitareya Bhashya. There is a Veda Purva Bhaga, Vedanta Bhaga. There are two shastras. In the beginning of Aitareya Upanishad, Shankaracharya writes a very long Bhashya, a commentary. In that commentary, he gives the difference between Veda Purva Bhaga and Veda Anta Bhaga. The Vedas are divided into four parts: Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Atharvana Veda. In each of these Vedas, according to this Upanishad, there were different branches. This Upanishad says there were 21 branches of Rig Veda, 109 branches of Yajur Veda, 1,000 branches of Sama Veda, and 50 branches of Dharana Veda. See, we get a lot of information in this Upanishad. That's why I thought I'll just give you a synopsis. Then Sri Rama says, you can get salvation, means moksha, either by uttering the Lord's name. You can get salokya or sarupya by attaining the Lord's form by meditation. These are four different types of salvations. Salokya means you just keep on uttering the word Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, utter the Lord's name, repeating the Lord's name. What you do, you get into the Lord's world. The loka, salokya means you attain the same loka where the Lords live. That is the first type of mukti or salvation or moksha. The second is sarupya. Sarupya means you meditate on the form of the Lord and you attain the Lord's form itself. You become one with his form. That is the second, slightly better. Still better is samipya. Samipya means the nearness to the Lord increases. You are very, very near. And the last, very difficult to attain, is called as sayujya. Sayujya means absorption into the Lord, into his nature, which is called as Brahmic bliss. It is the bliss of Brahman. Now, in this Upanishad, it says that the final emancipation, the Sayujya, is through Mandukya Upanishad. That is why I took up this Upanishad itself. Here it says absorption in that ultimate reality is possible through Mandukya Upanishad. I will quote you the chapter 1, the 26th mantra of this Upanishad. If you are interested in studying, you can get these notes from me, or I can even take a photocopy of some of the pages belonging to this Upanishad and send it to somebody who is really interested. Now, this Upanishad gives the names of 108 Upanishads. And then it also gives the Shanti mantra of the Upanishads. Because the Shanti mantra differs from Upanishad to Upanishad. I have put here the number of Upanishads under each Veda and also the Shanti mantra. The name was Shanti mantra. And also I've given you the Shanti mantra in the slide below. I'll just go a little bit faster so that now you to understand the style in which it is presented. Sahana Bhavatu, which we chanted today, is from Krishna Yajurveda, which has got 32 Upanishads. Atharvana Veda has got Badram Karnevi Shunama Devaha, that is for Mandukya Upanishad, and 31 other Upanishads. Shukla Yajurveda has got Purnamada, Purnamida, Purnat, Purnamudachate. And then the last one is Samaveda, 16 Upanishads with Apyayantu Mamangani. That is the Shanti mantra. To all students or seekers of seekers of moksha, this type of information is important because you will value moksha when you understand that in so many Upanishads, this moksha is being discussed. Same one topic. So I've given you below the Rig mantra, Rig Shanti mantra, then the Shukla Yajurveda Shanti mantra, and the meaning also. When you study the Shanti mantra itself, which a candidate prays at the beginning of the Upanishads, you can get a lot of meaning about the quality of a student who is fit for the study of Upanishads. And what does the student pray for? So, Shukla Yajurveda, this is the Shanti mantra. Krishna Yajurveda, Sahana Bhavatu. Samaveda is Apyayantu Mamangani. And generally speaking, the prayer is for the fitness of the student till he completes the study so that he is able to absorb the teaching. Atharvana Veda, Badram Karneri Shriyama Devaha, most of you know this. Now, the final emancipation or moksha means the three bodies which I have, the gross body, subtle body, and causal body. That is the nature of all of us. We are only aware of the gross body. Generally speaking, if you don't come to Veda, you will only think of body, the gross body. But Veda tells us there is a subtle body and a causal body. And when you cross over, these three bodies are given to us by Ishvara as per prarabdha karma. Now, all these bodies have the content of Chaitanya or consciousness. All of them. They are all, sometimes they say it is like space enclosed in a room. Similarly, consciousness awareness principle is enclosed in the body. And then what happens when you merge, when you drop these three bodies? It is like a pot getting broken. What happens to the space in the pot? It automatically merges without any effort into the total space. So similarly, all the jivas, essentially, they're all Chaitanya Swarupa, which is called as Satchidananda Swarupa. When the three bodies disappear for a jiva because of the study of Upanishads and absorb the study of teaching, this awareness, which is enclosed in the jiva's bodies, it becomes free. That freedom is what is called as the moksha. So now we study the first section, first chapter. I'm going to give you just a slide which gives all the mantras so that you are able to understand the gist of it. So these are the mantras. There are 6 mantras here in the first slide. And then this is the meaning. The essential part of this meaning is, O Rama, you are the Paramatma, you are the Satchidananda Swarupa. Lord Hanuman says, I bow to you. You are gracious. Please teach me the knowledge by which I can drop my mundane existence. See, that is the first 6 verses. This is the meaning. Okay, so this is the gist. Then from 7 to 10 mantra, the mantras are here. Here, the specific question is by Hanuman is, O Rama, how many Vedas are there? How many branches are there? And what are these Upanishads you are talking about? Can you tell me that? See how beautiful the Upanishad presents the dialogue between Sri Rama and Sri Hanuman. Then Lord Rama says, from verse 11 to 17, he says the description of the different Vedas and the branches, which I presented to you before in a chart form. And then he says, whoever studies devotion, these mantras, he attains the state of moksha. Very, very rare. But you can also attain it if you study these mantras and understand the meaning behind it. That is from 11th to 17th verse, first chapter, first section. I told you first chapter has got 2 sections. We are still in the first section. From 18th to 21, so here Lord Rama is saying about the details of moksha. What happens when you get moksha? There is no rebirth for you. This is, see, these are the things which we have to understand, that the Veda is a pramanam for rebirth. Otherwise, nobody who has died has come and has said, I am now the same as who was before. Nobody. I mean, that experience for us is not there. Nobody has experience. I was so and so in the previous one. So here, salvation is without rebirth. That is the essence of this verses from 18 to 21. You are free from all sins which makes you take up a body again and again. From 22nd verse till the 40th verse of the first section, the different types of Upanishads and the details are given. In the 26th mantra, this is the mantra which I was trying to tell you about. It says, Mandukya Upanishad is the Upanishad you study first, or you study if you want to have moksha. This Mandukya Upanishad you should never miss. If you see this explanation here from verse number 22 to 40, in the 26th verse of the first chapter, first section, Lord Rama says that final emancipation, this portion, the only means by which the final emancipation, which means what? That merger with Brahman, that merger which will cause no more cause any rebirth for you. It says here is attained through Mandukya Upanishad alone. This sentence is where I wanted, why I took up this whole Upanishadic study. This Muktika Upanishad I took up for one sentence. Here the value of the study of Mandukya Upanishad is given. You study this, Sri Rama says, you will get all types of mukti. The final mukti is Sayujya Mukti, which is becoming one with that creator, becoming one with that Lord. This is the same thing which is talked in the Bhagavad Gita also. The subject matter in the Upanishads and the subject matter in the Bhagavad Gita is the same. Then Sri Rama presents the names of the Upanishads and the Shanti mantra. He starts with Mandukya, then Taittiriya, Aitareya, Chandogya, Brihadaneka, Kaivalya, and so on. All these Upanishad names are all here. Now you can see where do you get this? What is the source of 108 Upanishads? This is the Muktikopanishad is the source where you can get all the names. And then there is a book which is published by Parimal Publications, which has got full details of this 108 Upanishads. It has got 112 Upanishads, but 108, which is mentioned here, is already there. So those who are interested to study the minor Upanishads, they can buy this book. It is by K.L. Joshi, Bimali. It's a publication of Parimal Publications from Delhi, where very beautifully a synopsis of each Upanishad is given. But it takes a long time. It has got 2 volumes, but it takes a long time. So here 108 Upanishads are mentioned. And what do they give? They give 2 things. It gives jnanam and vairagyam. Why jnanam and vairagyam required? It is to destroy the vasanas in us. Now, this Upanishad also mentions about it is a source for vasanas. Where is vasana mentioned in the Upanishad? In which Upanishad is it mentioned? Muktikopanishad. The word vasana you don't get in any of the in any of the other 10 Upanishads. Here, if you see here, the last line, jnana and vairagyam destroy the vasanas. Vasanas are the cause for taking birth after birth. The vasanas are the causal body. And then the other verses, 41 to 49, these are the details of the other verses. And here it talks about prarabdha karma. See, again, prarabdha. Where is prarabdha mentioned? The law of karma mentioned in the Upanishad, Muktikopanishad. Jiva Mukta becomes a jnani becomes a Jivan Mukta after the destruction of the prarabdha karma as he studies these Upanishads. Here, Lord Rama says, don't have any doubt that this is the way. This is the way to come out of all sufferings because birth and death both are suffering. According to the Upanishad, that is why it is called as samsara. So many things are in between the two events. But the Veda takes this birth and death as something which we can come out by knowledge and by vairagya. Here, one more thing, it's in this particular portion, what it says is, don't try to teach Veda Anta portion to an atheist who doesn't believe in God. Who see a person who doesn't believe in God will not believe in the Upanishads or the Veda. Therefore, there is no use teaching them. If they can come forward and say, yes, I will, okay, I may not understand the Veda, but I will, in due course of time, I will understand, but I have full faith in the Veda. Here it clearly says, don't teach Veda to an atheist because he will be ungrateful. He will not understand what you are trying to teach. So, this Atma, the knowledge of Atma, is the essence in all these 108 Upanishads. That ends the portion of the section 1, chapter 1. Some more details of the Upanishads are mentioned when we come to chapter second section. These are academic interest and a list of different Upanishads in different Vedas is mentioned here. Uh, these are all in different verses. I don't want to go to the details, but what is important is for moksha, we need to come out of our vasanas. Vasanas are the cause of repeated births. What is it? What is this vasana you're talking about? Vasana is an impression which is left over after an action is done. See, that is the way the Lord has created the world. When we do action, at the end of the action, either there is a joy or sorrow. But it leaves an impression, a tendency to repeat that action again. Suppose you like certain things. I like certain things in the world. I want to repeat again and again, again and again. Suppose you like a dish. Again and again, you want to eat the same dish. So that is what is called as a vasana. Now, Brahma Vidya is also a vasana. People who are listening to this Upanishad, either directly now or through the other recordings, you will never come to the study or listen to the Upanishads if you don't have a vasana in your mind. Either in this birth you have developed a vasana, or through in the previous birth you have developed a vasana. for the study of Veda. What is Jivan Mukti and Videha? These are the two phalams which we have mentioned in all the Upanishads. Whenever you study Upanishad, you must always remember that Jivan Mukti means while living I am free. Videha Mukti means after I drop the body, I am free. Lord Rama says, Dharma of the mind is Kartrutvam and Bhoktritvam. Kartrutvam means a sense of agency. I am doing this. I am the karta, I am doing actions, and my actions will produce results. That when I enjoy the results, I am called as a bhokta. Now, this tendency of karta bhokta is called as bondage. Moksha means coming out of this kartrutvam and bhoktrutvam. How will you come out of this too? Only when you know that there is something called Atma, which is the substratum for this two notions in our mind. There is an Atma, there is a Sakshi, there is a witness. By knowing that witness, I can. So the Upanishad has got twofold activity. One is to educate us about the nature of the mind, and the second is to give us the explanation of the nature of Atma. Atma, you know only from Upanishads. And Upadhi means the three bodies. Sthula Shariram, Sukshma Shariram, and Karan Shariram. Where is this Jivan Mukti and Videha mentioned? Lord Rama says this is mentioned in the 108 Upanishads. When we study them, the essence of that is Kartrutvam, Bhoktritvam is bondage, and coming out of that bondage is called as moksha. How is this perfection achieved? Through human effort, not by touching somebody and all that. You have to make an effort to get this knowledge because it is the mind involved. The mind has to go through the transformation of Rajasic nature and must become sattvic. When it is in the path of becoming sattvic, the vasanas are destroyed. So the effort is what? You move towards the reality, which is called as Brahman or Atma, learn the scriptures, and then what happens? After learning the scriptures, the Upanishad says you transcend the scripture also, drop the scriptures because you're free. It is as long as your vasanas are there, your vasanas, you want to get rid of it, the Upanishad will help. The river of vasanas is pure the moment you reach Brahman. It is impure till you reach Brahman. That means as a jiva, when I am walking on the path of moksha or purity, I must know that the goal is freedom of the mind. There is a jiva in this body. This jiva is attached to the body because of the vasanas, impressions which are there in the karana sharira. The jiva has to put an effort to know there is something beyond the vasanas, which is Atma. So this chitta, the mind has to be fondled by all the seekers through human efforts, study. It is possible to extinguish this vasana, get the knowledge of Atma, and make that manaha a manaha. See, a mind without projections is called as a free mind. It is the mind which keeps you in bondage. Do this, do this, do this, do that. For survival in the world, you need to do actions. We are not talking of that. We are talking about kamya karma. I want this because I'm enjoying this. I need this is fine. I need this for survival. That is a normal action. All of us, we study, we have a living, we earn money. That is okay. That is we do our duty. Here, what we are we are looking at it is there is a knot which we have studied in Mundaka Upanishad. That knot is tying the body and mind together. Samsarika vasana is illusory and it rises through the practice of hundreds of lives. And only through the study of Upanishads, where Atma Jnanam is given, it gets free. So, mind associated with vasana is in bondage. Mind free from vasana is called as liberated mind. And we have to practice this by deliberating on the truth or on the reality. See, a lamp is burning till the oil is there. Suppose the oil is taken away from the lamp extinguishes. Similarly, the vasanas are like the lamp. As long as that vasana is pushing a body and mind into the world, the jiva is surviving. The moment the vasanas are destroyed, the mind becomes free and the jiva feels I am now ever free. Not only in this world, I am ever free from in all lifetimes. I am free and I can exist without the body and mind. That is called as moksha. That is what is called as moksha. So one whose mind is centered on consciousness alone, he is of the nature of Satchidananda. See how beautiful this Upanishad is. It gives you a complete step by step process of how I can get moksha. This you can get only from the Upanishads. Nowhere else. You can't go into the world and ask, where do I get freedom from the mind? Nobody knows. You come to study the Upanishads. Muktikopanishad is very, very precise in this process explanation. Whether one performs karma or samadhi, ultimately what cures this disease of samsara is jnana. The process is my mind should become free from desires. It is the mind will not be going after the fruits of this action, that action. Even samadhi. People want to sit in samadhi because they want to enjoy the freedom of mind. No, that also they say is the vasana. So we just sit in silence, but sitting in silence is not easy. You ask any meditator, can he sit in silence? Silence means what? Without the mind projecting something. Then only you know what is bondage and what is liberation. By habit, involuntarily, our sense organs are prompted to go to the sense objects, external objects, involuntarily, without my will. This is the nature of our body and mind. This is the word body, mind, and the causal sharira, three sharira, that they are living in the world. And this is the nature of the body. Vasana is manifested through the consciousness of objects and is the cause of the absorption of the chitta. That means the mind again and again absorbs the world, again and again goes to the objects, again absorbs the world. This fluctuation of the chitta is the cause of birth and death due to the identification of itself with the objects. See how beautifully it defines the Upanishad, Upanishad defines what is bondage. It says that the mind going into the external world through the sense organs again and again is that it identifies itself that with the body, and it thinks that the world which it is experiencing, the indriyas which are experiencing the world, it appears as if that they're all real. But what is the truth? The truth is, I am not the jiva which is behind the mind, behind the sense organs. I am the jiva which is Sachidananda Swarupa, which is behind, which is beyond the body, mind, and sense complex. The variation of prana arises through vasana and vasana through prana. See, why do we all breathe? We breathe because of vasana. That is what the Upanishad is saying. We have a vasana. The causal body we have studied in Mandukya Upanishad. Causal body is the cause. The subtle body and the gross body is the effect. That is exactly what is being said here. The two seeds of the tree of the mind, which is called as chitta, the two seeds. One is the vibration of prana, and the second is the vibration of vasana. This topic is extremely subtle, very deep. A person who has understood the three bodies will appreciate this knowledge here. When the vasana goes away, the prana will not take birth. See, why do we say there is no rebirth? Birth is what? A prana entering into a body. The subtle body entering into a gross body is a birth of a person. But when the vasana is not there, that prana will not enter. See, this whole science of law of karma, birth, recycle, all that whole thing is explained in this very beautifully in this Upanishad. Now, once you come out of the vasanas, what happens? Chitta becomes non-chitta. Mind does not think being devoid of vasanas. There is a state of mindlessness. And that state is called as Shanti. This is the Shanti of Manaha. This is a very big achievement in life. Then when you become the knower of the reality, what happens? That Shanti of mind becomes becomes aware of the Shanti of Atma, which is absolute peace, which is mentioned in the seventh mantra of Upanishad. So the destruction of chitta means with form is called as Jivan Mukti, without form is called as Videha Mukti. That means there is no mind, therefore there is no body, therefore it is called as Videha Mukti. Videha Mukti means where there is no Deha. But the Jiva is there. Jiva is still surviving as what? Not as a Jiva attached, identified with the body and mind. Jiva is attached to his Swarupam. Exactly like what we are in our sleep state. We do exist. Everybody knows that we all exist in our sleep state, but nobody knows what is that state, what happens in that state. This is very similar to the state where we are without the body, but identified purely as pure consciousness, Sachidananda. Mind is the root of tree of samsara with thousands of shoots, branches, leaves, fruits. Mind. See, in Amrita Bindu Upanishad, last week I talked about it. Again, talked about the mind. Muktika Upanishad is also beautiful because again it gives me an understanding of my mind and what happens in the mind structure. So it is possible whenever a desire sankalpa arises, it is possible to withdraw from it. Like it, Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, if you want to get rid of your bad habits, as soon as that vasana comes up, immediately become aware. A split second is given to you, you become aware of the thought, and you can get rid of the vasana. You can get rid of your bad habits. Not easy, but it's possible. Like an elephant is controlled with a stick. Mind is controlled through the control of vasanas and control of pranas. So the two seeds of the tree of mind, one is vasana and the second is prana. That is why Hatha Yoga talks about pranayama. When you do breath, controlling breath, you can also control your vasanas, you can control your mind. See, all these are extremely scientific, but only thing is we don't know the background. Here in this Muktika Upanishad, we understand so much of knowledge of our mind, how it is linked to vasanas, how it is linked to the prana. What is the definition of vasana? Clinging to objects without deliberation or longing is stated to be vasana. When a person regards universe as reality, then he is subject to delusion. Very, very important. I marked it in bold letters. Throughout our waking state, think that the world we are experiencing is a real world. It is existing. But when you come to Upanishads, you realize world is an appearance. It is not real. Real is Atma. Whatever is appearing also disappears. Therefore, it is not considered as real. Like, for example, dream. Dream state is real. Similarly, when you study Mandukya Upanishad, you will understand why we say waking is also another appearance like a dream. Vasanas can be pure, they are the destroyers of rebirth. And when you have pure vasanas, that vasana will push you towards Atma, which is self-effulgent. That is the nature of this world. You see, all these things we don't know. What happens to us? We only know the gross body. That also we don't know it in full. We have to go to specialist of cornea, specialist of different parts. They also don't know the full science behind it. Here it says that there is something called as Atma, which is self-effulgent. The moment you bring down you're able to control the quality of your thoughts, quantity of your thoughts, and slowly you will learn the Upanishad and change the direction of your thoughts towards Atma. What happens if the vasanas are impure? They are the cause of rebirth. There is ajnanam associated with ahamkara. Throughout the waking state, we are living with ahamkara, the I notion in the body. What about the jnani? He has I notion in the body whenever he wants to take up certain actions. But he knows that I notion is temporary. Sakshi notion, I am Sakshi, I am Atma, is the truth. That is why in Vedantic Upanishad, the entire waking state is called as a state of avidya, ignorance. What about vidya? A jnani knows the state of vidya, which is pure consciousness. The indweller in this body is Atma, which is ever pure. It is self-evident and it is self-existent. Body is impure. Okay. So vasanas make the bondage real for us. The destruction of vasanas, which is only a notion in the mind, because ultimately our swarupam is what? Pure consciousness, which is not the mind. As long as the ahankara, the I notion gets attached to the mind or the body, it is called as impure. The moment you come to realize I am the Satchidananda Swarupa Atma, then you live in as chit alone. So give up that which is associated with the mind and intellect. What is associated with the mind and intellect? It is the sense organs, the sense of sound, touch, form. All these are all sense organs based. I am the pure objectless awareness. That is the truth. If I know that is the truth, then I become birthless, deathless, ageless, immortal, self shining, all pervading, destructionless, causeless, pure, ever contented, because I am Purnaha. Very beautiful Upanishad, very deep meaning inside this. That is the end of chapter 1. Chapter 2 contains 18 verses, only one section. And here, just the details of after this knowledge about vasanas, about all the 4 types of salvations, and what really happens in moksha, the second chapter gives a little bit more details of this Jivan Mukti and Videha Mukti. What happens to a mind of a jnani when he has full control over the mind, because he knows the Atma Jnanam is there with him. So here it says that one who knows the scriptures alone can cross the mind and transcend the mind. There is something which is called as reality. A jnani knows there is a reality, and he is the one who has been able to rise over and above the vasanas and realize the ultimate truth, which is the bed, which is the adhisthana, on which the entire world is surviving. The world exists because of pure consciousness. The description of vasanas as pure and impure you find only here in this Upanishad. And how you can cross over the impure vasanas is again only in this Upanishad, which is Muktikopanishad. Okay. In this portion from 9th to 15th verse of the second section, Lord Rama says, keep on increasing good vasanas. Good vasanas means what? Study of Upanishads. The more you study the Atma's nature, you are going to add on to the making your vasanas purer. And slowly, what will happen as you add more and more good water, all the particles, the vasanas, the impressions in your mind, they all get settled down. And a time comes when only the good vasanas are there. That is called as a pure mind. For a jiva to cross over the pure mind and go to the sakshi state is very easy, because it can see the sakshi, it can experience the sakshi. it can know that this is what I am. And once that happens, there is no more birth, there is no more death. It is free. That is what is Jivan Mukti. The description of what is Jivan Mukti very beautifully comes in this Upanishad. So, wise man comes to realize the nature of the mind and what lies beyond the mind as vasana. And the moment you cross this vasana, you are free. In Swami Chinmayananda's Om chart, which I have presented so many times in my teaching sessions, right at the top is Om, which is Sachidananda, which is silence, which is Turiya. But before that is O, which is V. V means vasanas. And under the vasanas is the body, mind, and intellect. BMI comes under vasanas. That means vasanas, which is the causal body, is responsible for the birth of the Sthula Shariram again and again. Then verse number 16 to 26, it talks about a jnani who is able to live without this piece of vasanas. I gave you the example of the lamp without the oil. Here it gives the state of a mind of a jnani. When the vasanas are not there, it is called as samadhi or a state of jnanam. When there is samadhi, when the mind is quiet, the mind knows that it is the substratum for the mind is Atma. So very beautifully, the entire process of mukti means freedom from the mind is explained in this uh, in this Upanishad, Muktikopanishad. A good study of this Upanishad will make you understand the nature of mind and the nature of vasanas, which prompt us to do certain actions in our life. So these are some more details from 35 again, the details about how vasanas get destroyed. You can study them. I have already given you the gist behind these mantras. Vasanas and pranas are related to each other. Prana comes because of vasanas. It is a seed for jiva. And what is Brahman is beyond the level of vasanas. The moment I cross over the vasanas, it is a naturally it happens that the self-evident Atma becomes evident for a jnani. And then at the end of the body survives till the prarabdha is there. And once the body dies, that jnani is never reborn. That is what is called as videha mukti. Um, okay, so this is in essence Muktiko Upanishad, which is a teaching of Lord Rama to Sri Hanuman, wherein it was mentioned that the final emancipation, the last merger which happens with the reality is through the study of Mandukya Upanishad. What do I realize when I am with this nature of mind? I myself realize that I am birthless, deathless, ageless, immortal. self-shining. All these are mentioned here as the last portion of this Upanishad in the 76th mantra. I am ever content. Can you imagine what a beautiful feeling a jnani will have? An ajnani will have always feeling of not contented mind, but a mind which wants more and more. So the difference between a contented mind and a discontented mind is very beautifully brought out in this Upanishad, and it gives you a process of liberation, and it gives you a lot of information about vasanas. So those people who are interested to study the Muktikopanishad, if you write to me, I will send you some just photocopies of the mantras and the description. But otherwise, you can go through Google and find out these details are always available in the internet. You can study this as one of the my Upanishads. Okay, now I will enter into Mandukya Upanishad. I'm going to give you summary. Now, summary will I will take today's session and next week one more session. I didn't plan to take Muktika Upanishad, but the last 1 hour I thought about it. I said, let me give you Muktika Upanishad also, so that you can appreciate Mandukya Upanishad a little bit more when you study. Mandukya Upanishad. So this is the Muktika Upanishad where it says that study Mandukya Upanishad alone for the sake of complete freedom from rebirth. I just put that as the first beginning slide so that you can get the feeling of why we need to study this Mandukya. It is so difficult. There are 4 chapters. There are more than 200 mantras. How can I study that? And why should I study that? Because you are going to get rid of your vasanas and get full control of your mind. By the end of the study of Mandukya Upanishad, you will have full control of your mind and say, yes, because that is the process. The study itself is a process. Mandukya Upanishad consists of 4 chapters, 215 karikas, which are commentary verses written by Gaudapada Acharya, the great grand guru of Shankaracharya, on the 12 mantras of the Upanishads. The first chapter is called as Agama Prakaranam, containing 12 mantras and 29 karikas. I will give you a verse for verse meaning of the first Agama Prakaranam. For the second and fourth chapters, I will give you summary. It will give you an essence of what we will be discussing, because going through each of them which is what I'm doing in these Sunday sessions. So tomorrow I'll be talking on Mandukya Upanishad. For people who are interested in Mandukya, you can join on Sundays. All details are available in their website, vedantastudents.com. Okay, now coming to the first chapter. This Upanishad discusses 3 states of consciousness: waking state, dream state, and sleep state. All of us universally in the world experience these 3 states. You can be in any part of the world. You will be a waker, you will be a dreamer, and you will be asleep. But beyond these 3, there is one more state which is called as Turiya, which we are not aware of. And by the study of Mandukya Upanishad, we become aware of that state. It is always there, but I was not aware of. The study is meant to make us realize that state which is free from the world. When you study these four chapters, at the end of it, you are supposed to get Jivan Mukti, which is freedom from these three states as reality. Three states will continue. But for a jnani, the three states become an appearance. For a ajnani, what it is, the three states are very real. Forget about the sleep and the dream. They may not be real. But waking is very, very real for a jnani. Ajnani is what? Ignorant person. So now you can understand what we are aiming from this chart. You should understand that 12 mantras, only 12 mantras are there, only 12 verses. Isn't it so easy? You say, no, it is not easy because the meaning behind, the essence behind these 12 mantras is very, very significant and it is not easy for a gross mind to understand the depth of these verses. There are two types of inquiries conducted in Mandukya Upanishad. One is called as Atma Vichara or Chatushvat Vichara. And the second is called as Omkara Vichara. Chatushpat Atma Vichara is done in 7 verses, from verse 1 to 7. Omkara Vichara is done from verse 8 to 12, 5 verses. The first two mantras are only introductions. But the real inquiry, see, wherever you may be based, you may be an American, you may be a Japanese, you can be from any part of the world, you are still a human being. A human being has got Atma, the self. The self is hidden to us. By the study of these three states, you realize what is your intrinsic nature, is your incidental nature. Intrinsic nature is called as Atma, which is the substratum on which the incidental nature comes and goes. What is the incidental nature? Waker I, dreamer I, sleeper I. The I which is associated with the gross body is called as waker. The I which is associated with the subtle body is called as the dreamer. The I which is associated with the sleep state is called as sleeper, or which is associated with the causal body. There are names given to the waker I. Waker I is called as Vishwa, the individual, and he is experiencing the Virat, Ishvara. Ishvara means the totality. Similarly, in the dream state, the individual is called as Taijasa. He is experiencing a subtle world in the dream called as Hiranyagarbha. The, the dream world is controlled by a devata, power. The waking world is controlled by a devata, which is called as Virat Devata, a power. The power belongs to whom? The power belongs to Turiya. Sleeper eye is controlled by a power called as Ishvara or Antaryami. All these three powers put together is called as Maya Shakti. Or Hiranyagarbha, Ishvara, the three powers put together is called as Maya Shakti. And the holder of that Maya Shakti is called as Turiyam Brahma. So in this verses, 5 verses, can you see how the whole world is packed up along with its substratum called as Turiyam? That is the beauty of this Upanishad. Next comes Omkara Vichara. Om contains the symbol, the sound symbol of the highest reality in the world called as Turiya. It is a sound symbol. When I hear Om, you should immediately say, I am experiencing that reality. The word A, Om contains three alphabets, A, U, Ma, A, U, M. The A stands for the waking state, U stands for the dream state, Ma stands for the sleep state. Together, it becomes the transactional word, A-U. Beyond the transactional world, there is a substratum. That substratum is referred as the amatra, which is the silence. See how beautiful this Upanishad is. In 5 verses, it describes Atma Vichara. In 5 verses, it describes Omkara Vichara. And he says that Omkara Vichara, Vichara means inquiry, will lead you to the substratum of this whole universe called as Amatra, the silence. And the Atma Vichara will also lead you to Turiyam, which is against the same silence. Turiyam, which is described in the 7th verse, is the same amatra which is described by the silence. The description of Turiyam at the 7th mantra and the 12th mantra is identical. We are talking of the same reality. Compared to the reality, our experiences are called as incident. Our reality is I am the pure Atma. Atma means what? The self in all of us. Body is not the self. Body is an external thing. Mind is also external compared to Atma. So this is the significance of the 12 mantras. And then there are Karikas. Commentary is written on these by Gaudapadacharya. Now I will start with the description of the first chapter. The first chapter, basically, just to give you, for those people who are not studied Mandukya Upanishad, you will find these slides very useful. Those who are already studying Mandukya on Sundays, they will find a summary. You will find it will be a good revision for you. This Upanishad belongs to the Atharvana Veda. We have studied now what are the Vedas, how many Upanishads, what are Shanti mantras, all we studied today. Very beautifully, we have studied in Muktikopanishad. And now we are studying Mandukya Upanishad. In which Muktikopanishad says studied what? It says you study Mandukya Upanishad. You will be free. You will get the essence behind all the 108 Upanishads. Manduka is a rishi's name. So there are different meanings given to Mandukya Upanishad. One of the meaning is that this Upanishad was revealed to a rishi called as Manduk. The second meaning of Mandukya is they say that a frog, Manduka, it goes in hibernation for 6 months during rainy season. So similarly, a jnani, he goes into meditation for 6 months and he realizes that he is Brahman. Therefore, this Upanishad is called as Madhu. Another meaning of Mandukya is you jump from waking state to dream state to sleep state. Again and again, you keep jumping like a frog, like a mundak. So it is called as Mandukya. These are all commentators. They have given different views, but it is just for basically what you should. The classical meaning is it is given to a rishi who revealed it. That's all. The karikas are given out by karikas with what? Verses of commentary on the original mantra. The guru of Shankaracharya is called as Govinda Padacharya. Guru of Govinda Padacharya is called as Gauda Padacharya. Agama means Veda. So what we are studying in this Upanishad is 12 mantras are the original Upanishad. There is a commentary of great grand teacher of Shankaracharya who has written a commentary 215 verses, and then we are studying those commentaries. And what is the ultimate aim of this study? To arrive at one reality, Brahma Satyam. That reality is called as Brahman. In Mandukya Upanishad, it is called as Turiyam. Now I will give you the 12 mantras and a short meaning of these mantras. The first mantra, it says Om is the sound, Eka Aksharam Brahma. One word which describes Brahman. And what is this Brahman? All what existed in the past, all what is existing in the present, and whatever will come in the future also. All the three is called as Om. What is Om again? Om is time. Om is timeless. See how Upanishad can go in time and also timeless. It is the complete knowledge of the universe. What is in time is manifest. What is beyond time is unmanifest. Upavakyanam, explanation of this Om is Brahman. Is this Upanishad? What is beyond time is called as unmanifest. It is called as silence. It is called as causal state. These are all different names of one entity only. It is also called as the sleep state. So everything in this universe is Om. Manifest, unmanifest. Manifest means it is either gross form or subtle form. Mind is subtle, but it still is manifest because I can experience it. Unmanifest means it is causal form. Nobody can experience it. It is there, but nobody is aware of it. And then that is what is in sleep state. See, sleep state is called as the causal state. It is called as the unmanifest state because there is no concept of time. It is the cause of this subtle and the gross states. And beyond these three, that means beyond the gross, subtle, and the causal, there is something called as Purushaha. There is something called as the ultimate reality. Time arises only when there is a sequence of experience. For example, morning comes, I experience a certain things in this universe. Again in the afternoon, again in the night. And then in the night, when I go to sleep, there is no more time. Timelessness, I experience only. I experience, right? Upanishad wants you to remember your experience of timelessness in sleep. Because you are that Sakshi. Without that Sakshi, you can never remember there was a state called a sleep. 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita says, Sarvamidam. Everything which is in this world is idam, this. Idam shariram kaunteya kshetra. That first verse of the 13th chapter. Whatever is idam is the world, Kshetram. And whatever is not Kshetram is Kshetrajna, Bhagavad Gita. Is the reality, is the unmanifest pure form of the world. So Om is the manifest sound, Prakriti is manifest sound, Purusha is unmanifest sound, silence, and that is what is called as Shanti. That Shanti state is the basis for all the sounds. And then there are descriptions of there are 52 letters in Sanskrit, and then there is vowels and consonants. Then it talks about the different sounds which come out from your mouth, guttural sound, ka, ka, ga, ga, na, palatal sounds, which is cha, cha, ja, ja, na, cerebral sounds where the tongue touches the root of the mouth, then dental sounds which you make through the teeth, th, th, da, da, na, and through the lips what you utter, p, 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 m. All these are sounds. But where do they rise from? The Upanishad asks you, it all comes from silence. From unmanifest silence comes the sound. Therefore, unmanifest is the cause. Sound is an effect. It is a product. The Om sound is an effect. In that comes all the letters, all the words, the names, whatever you may describe in your lifetime. Everything is from this sound Om only. Any thought which rises is also from this sound Om only. When the universe was made, was projected by the Lord uttered the word Om, and then the projection came. They say when you close your ears, what you hear is Om, 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 because that is the subtractor of the entire universe. Some Upanishads also say Omkara is the Swarupam of Lord Ganesha. All sounds are meant for manifesting the silence only. Sound manifests silence. From the silence comes the sound. Try to understand silence and the sound. The more you understand the silence, the more you will understand your real nature. The real music makes the mind silent. Soft music makes the mind silent. You go into deep contemplation. So when Om sound is completed, it has merged in Shanti. That Shanti aspect of Om is called as Brahman or Turiyam. Nada Bindu Kalatitam. In sound, Nada Bindu Kala. All these three, they reside in the silence. The sound in different degrees of manifestation is called as either Bindu, Nada, or Kala. So the essence of the first verse is Om is everything in the universe, both in manifest form and unmanifest form. Such a powerful verse, first verse. Sarvametad Brahma. I am Atma Brahma. Soyam Atma Chatushpad. Second verse. All this is Brahman. All means what? Whatever is your experience in the world is Brahman only. It is pure reality. From that reality only, this whole world is experienced by us. And again, this reality, this whole world goes into unmanifest. And this Atma or Brahman, Atma means it is the self, the individual. And Brahman means it is the totality. Okay. So I will continue the second verse. From here, I will start the uh, the the presentation next week. The second verse. I will probably take maybe the entire of next week plus. I'm not sure. Maybe it'll take another. But it doesn't matter. I want to give you a good summary of the Mandukya. There are a lot of students who are learning the Mandukya Upanishad, Ashyam of Mandukya Upanishad on Sundays. For them also, this will be a very good revision of the first chapter and also understand the second, third, fourth chapters. So that is why I don't want to rush. I want to go slow. I have it's a long uh, text of the introduction of Mandukya. Okay, so with this, I will close today's session on Mandukya Upanishad. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudacchade Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay. A couple of questions on the chat box. The first one is from Rob Myers. The previous sessions, if you, I think you have written an email to us. If you have written an email, we'll send you the class folder. So you will find all the sessions in that. Okay. So I think you have sent us an email. We'll send you the folder which has got all the classes, especially the introduction portions of all the Upanishads. You will find in the folder. So we will send it to you. In case you don't receive it, send us a mail again after 2, 3 days. The second one is from JP. He says, "How mauna, speechless, heals is helps in diluting the vasanas." Yeah. See, the Upanishad, the Shastra says that when you sit in maunam or in samadhi, what happens is all your impressions, which are gathered in the karana shariram, they get they get diluted, they get burnt. Uh, See, vasanas are of two types. One is strong vasanas, another is uh, vasanas which can be burned very easily. The strong durbala vasanas cannot be burned so easily. You have to experience those vasanas, then only it can be exhausted. Prabala vasanas are vasanas which can be burned by simple exercises like maunam or simple. There are other methods also like japa. You can chant, um, and then you can get rid of them. See, the vasanas, they play a very important role in our life. And Muktika Upanishad beautifully explains these vasanas. I presented today the Muktika slides. You can go through them. If you have some more questions, we can discuss next week. Okay, Vijay Rashmi Day, Manikandan. So, JP, before I go there, JP, is it understood? Have you got any question on on what you have asked? JP, Shanmugam will unmute everybody now.
This is Jayaprakash JP.
Yeah, JP.
By you are telling that the vasana will reduce the impression. How we know that how that method of
Okay. You will come to know when you face life, you will find that you are able to face it much better. For example, uh, before meditation, before maunam, your mind was very agitated. You had no control on your mind at all. But after doing those practices, what happens is you yourself will realize that my mind has quietened down. Why does the mind quieten down? It quietened down only because of the impact of the vasanas which are supposed to emerge. For example, every day you have a life. Now, how will you describe your experience today? Suppose you want to, or yesterday, for example. How was your life yesterday? Was it very, very impactful? Was it very joyous? Was it very, very sad? The way you describe your days as per the impact of vasanas which got fructified during that day. Vasanas come, they get fructified, they go away. But some vasanas, they trouble you a lot. So if there are vasanas which trouble you again and again, you go back to the same cycle of thoughts. That is what is called as a vasana. It doesn't go away at all. But when you do these type of exercises of japa, maunam, pranayama, those things they help a lot the in the impact of the vasanas in your life. It is something which you can experience when you do the exercises which are prescribed in the Upanishads. You will be able to know the impact of those vasanas. See, for example, what you will experience after 2 weeks, we don't know. That is the case with all of us. So, and uh, each one of us has got a mountain of vasanas in us, thought impressions in our causal body. There is no other trick. There is no other way how one can see. First of all, you should have a belief that there is something called as causal body. And there is in that causal body, there are vasanas, there are impressions. That impressions has got three types: sanchita karma, prarabdha karma, agami karma. How those vasanas can be brought down is through these practices. The Upanishad says that. The scriptures tell us that this is the method of reducing the impact of vasanas in your life. Is it clear, JP?
Thank you. I got the point. But one thing is there: if you are not talking much, there should not be much quarrel.
Yeah, correct. If you're not talking, you see, it is a blessing for others. It's a blessing for you.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. Thank you. Manikandan, yes, this summary I really didn't want. I don't know why it happened. It just suddenly I thought of this Muktika Upanishad, and I thought it is something which is very, very beautiful Upanishad. It happened to be Vijayadashami day today, and we are all fortunate to revise this Upanishad. Niranjan, uh, okay, that's good. Anybody else has? Okay, Shanta has a question. Shanta, go ahead.
Yeah, Namaste Shekharji, and wishing everybody Vijayadashmi. My only prayers to Mata today is hope we all win over our vasanas and become Jivan Muktas. So that's a wonderful day. Shekhaji, I'm quite impressed with this eco uh, quite extension, I can say, or a preface of Mandukya Upanishad. Would it be something which you would prefer to take it up for us after Mandukya as a,
What is that?
you know, on Sundays or here? Do you plan to?
You mean whether I will take Muktikopanishad?
Yes, yes.
Oh no, at the moment I have no plans to take. I've got an agenda full of things to be done.
Okay.
Muktika Upanishad just came in as a thought to me about 10 minutes or 15 minutes before the actual session began today. And I thought it will be good to give this presentation of Muktika Upanishad. These notes were written by me about, I think, what, 18 years ago. So what I presented to you was written maybe 12, 14, 15 years ago. I just happened to see that and I thought it will be good to present it. And it was very interesting.
Yeah,
It
I felt a bit rushed on that front.
Yeah, it was
The
rushed. It was rushed. I don't say no, but the essence I have given it to you. You see, if
yes.
you go through the Upanishad, if you want, I can send you, in the 112 Upanishads, I have the book with me. If you go through that slowly, you will understand because I have given you the essence. There are about 10 or 15 pages which I can just photocopy and I can forward to you. You can,
Okay,
if
that
you,
would be great. Yes,
yeah,
because I like the fact that the Upanishad gives the whole, which Vedas, I mean, sorry, which Upanishads, which
correct.
Vedas, and
Yes.
that was the beautiful part of what I learned today. And it would be
Yes.
nice to actually, fully understand and make your own little chart.
Yeah, you can make it. You see, once you read this, it's a very simple
I'll
English,
appreciate if
simple,
you can.
very simple. I will. What I'll do is I'll try to see if I can
Mm,
copy this, and it'll be about 10, 15 pages. It's not difficult. It is.
okay,
I'll try to do it. I'll send it to you, say within a
okay,
week or so.
yes, yes, that would be
Yeah.
great if I can receive it by email. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? Anybody wants anything else?
Sagarji, namaste. This is Manigandan.
Yeah, Manikandan, tell me.
Yeah, Sagarji, I have one query. During the meditation session, very beautiful mantra from Katha Upanishad. You mentioned that what is what is here. Means what is there
Yes.
is like Brahman, conscious existence, consciousness, bliss, and what is here is invisible, unmanifest. Uh, Here I have the doubt because what is here is how it is invisible because
Okay,
Brahman
okay.
is Brahman is,
Yes.
Brahman
See,
is always
okay.
even in our yeah.
Yeah,
This
I
is what
understand
my
your question. You see, let's try to understand what is here. Then the Upanishad says, what is here? Here means what? Right now, we are in the world. We are in the waking world. Now, the waking world, according to the Upanishad, it is an appearance. It is here. But what type of a world is this? This is a mithya world. It is a appearing world and disappearing world. The mithya is what? Appearing, disappearing. But the moment you give the world the name, the title mithya, mithya means it is seemingly there. Seemingly there, but really it's not there. The best definition of mithya is dream. Dream was seemingly there when you are experiencing it. But once you have woken up, it is not there. Similarly, this waking state is seemingly there when you have woken up to that nature of reality, which is higher nature. That is pure consciousness in which there is no world. That is how I should learn. While waking itself, my mind should be able to travel in the direction of Brahman. That that state where there is existence and consciousness alone. That means it is pure in nature. See, the world here means it is world plus consciousness and existence. World there means existence, consciousness alone without the world. Your mind can easily go through these two modes. First is this world here is world plus sat and chit, existence and consciousness. World there means existence and consciousness alone without the world, which is what we are in our sleep state. We are existent, we are conscious, but without the world. Without which world? This world, which is called as manifest world. This world becomes unmanifest in the pure consciousness. A jnani is the only person who realizes this truth because of the revelation of the Upanishad. Normally, I will never be able to rise from this world at all. Because I know the Upanishad, this mantra, it says the world, whatever is there means what? Whatever is unmanifest condition there is manifest condition here. And here, there is unmanifest Satchit also. So, that which is there, it is here also. When it says that, it means what? Satchit Ananda, which is the substratum, which is here. It is here with the Mithya world. Mithya and Satyam are mixed together here. But there it is only Satyam. Now you get it?
Yes, Shakarji. Thank you. Thank you. Very, very deep, very subtle point. Thank you very much for clarifying this. Thank you.
Contemplate on this. This mantra is very deep. If you can contemplate on this mantra, you are free in the sense that you have reached a very high level of understanding of the Upanishads. This mantra is taken up by Shankaracharya in every Upanishad commentary. Every commentary of Upanishads, Shankaracharya quotes this mantra. Mrityo samrityum apunoti. Person goes from change to change. Don't focus on the change. Focus on the substratum, which is the ground in which these changes are happening. In Kathopanishad, this mantra plus the mantra we are going to do next week, they are the two vital mantras for realization. Like the mantra number 7 of Mandukya Upanishad, this mantra and the next week mantras are two very important mantras of Kathopanishad. See, when you take up such mantras for meditation, you see the significance of these mantras. When you go through the Kathopanishad, you don't see the significance so much. But when you are trying to meditate, contemplate, and understand, in a very short span of time, we are trying to get the gist of this mantra. Okay. Thank you, Meganand.
Thank you, Shakarji.
So, Anand, thank you very much for the wishes. Wish you also a very happy Vijayadashmi. And Venkatesh, thank you. Anybody else? Anand, namaste. Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste. Wish
Happy
you all a,
Vijayadashmi to all.
yeah, thank you. Happy Vijayadashmi to you also.
Oh, it's muted. Happy Vijayadashmi.
Happy Vijayadashmi. Thank you.
Wishing you all
Thank you, Vijay.
Vijayadashmi.
Thank you.
Shekharji, Hari Om.
Thank you. Hari Om, Vijay. Thank you.
Thank you, Shakarji.
Thank you. Okay, if there are no other questions, we will stop today. We will continue next week. It was a very, very beautiful presentation of Muktikopanishad today. I'm glad all of you had a chance to have a glance at it. It's an amazing Upanishad. Such things you don't really come to know so easily, how Lord Hanuman was liberated. And it was a teaching from Lord Rama. See, this is very, very beautiful. Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste, Shekharji. Thank you very
Namaste.
much.
Thank you.
Namaste, Shekharji.
Thank
Namaste.
you.
Hari Om.
Namaste. Hari Om.